Peace had settled deeply into the hearts and minds of the people of Arvora. Jack Harris and Princess Lara spent their days further strengthening the bonds between humans and Arvrons. They taught combat skills, strategy, and diplomacy to both peoples, building a stronger, united future. One sunny morning, Queen Ilara called Jack and Lara to a private meeting. Her expression was serious, but gentle as she spoke clearly. I have received troubling news. Our scouts reported a massive Vorax force gathering near our borders again. They seemed determined to strike one final blow. Jack exchanged a serious glance with Lara, then looked back at the Queen. "We will be ready, Your Majesty," he assured her confidently. "We've faced them before, and we'll face them again together." Lara nodded firmly in agreement. "We are stronger now. The Vorax will not break us." The Queen smiled warmly, pride evident in her eyes. "I have complete trust in both of you. Prepare our people. Let unity and courage guide us." Jack and Lara immediately organized preparations. They held meetings with warriors, instructing and motivating them. Together, they developed a detailed plan, combining the best Arvran and human strategies. As preparations continued, Jack noticed Lara becoming quiet and thoughtful. One evening, he found her alone, standing by the city walls, staring out into the distance. "What's troubling you, Lara?" Jack asked gently, approaching quietly. Lara sighed softly, looking up at him. "I worry about the battle ahead. We've won before, but each time the Vorax returns stronger." Jack placed a comforting hand on her shoulder, his voice steady. "True, they grow stronger, but so do we. Trust in what we built here, Lara. Trust in our people, and trust in yourself." Lara smiled slightly, nodding slowly. "Your words always give me courage, Jack. Thank you." Days passed quickly, filled with intense training and careful planning. Finally, the day came when the Vorax forces were spotted advancing towards the city. Jack and Lara stood side by side, calm and determined as they addressed their warriors. "One final time. Today we fight not only to protect our homes but for peace and unity." Jack spoke firmly, his voice clear and powerful. Lara stepped forward confidently, her voice ringing strong and true. "Together, humans and Arvrans are unstoppable. Let us show the Vorax the power of unity." Warriors cheered loudly, their spirits high, filled with determination and pride. They took their positions along the city walls, ready for battle. The Vorax appeared suddenly, a massive force, their presence fierce and intimidating. They charged aggressively, roaring fiercely, eager to crush the defenders. Jack and Lara fought bravely, their leadership inspiring everyone around them. Each warrior stood strong, defending bravely and countering fiercely. The battle raged, fierce and intense, each side determined to overcome the other. At one point, the Vorax broke through a weaker part of the defenses, threatening to overwhelm the warriors there. Jack quickly signaled Lara, and they rushed to assist. Together, they fought fiercely, driving the Vorax back with determined strength. However, amidst the chaos, Jack noticed an even larger group of Vorax warriors approaching from another direction, threatening to encircle their forces. Quickly making a decision, he turned urgently to Lara. "You must lead here, Lara," Jack instructed firmly. "I'll take a small team and hold them off long enough for you to reinforce our defenses." Lara's eyes widened in fear. "No, Jack, it's too dangerous." Jack smiled gently, reassuring her calmly. "Trust me, Lara, I must do this. Lead our warriors. I believe in you." Lara hesitated, then finally nodded, understanding the seriousness of the moment. "Stay safe, Jack." Jack took a small group of brave warriors, quickly intercepting the advancing Vorax force. The fight was fierce, overwhelming at times, but Jack's calm leadership guided his warriors firmly. Meanwhile, Lara led the main defense brilliantly, her bravery and determination unmatched. She successfully reinforced their positions, stabilizing the defenses once more. Jack's group fought valiantly, holding off the Vorax as long as possible. However, The enemy pressed harder, forcing Jack to make another quick decision. Fall back. Slowly, Jack commanded calmly, ensuring his warriors remained safe. He fought bravely, keeping the enemy at bay while his team retreated safely to the city. But in the chaos, Jack became separated, facing the Vorax alone. He fought bravely, holding his ground, determined to protect his people. Lara quickly realized Jack had not returned with his team. Her heart filled with dread, and she moved swiftly, rallying a rescue party. "We must help Jack," Lara shouted firmly, leading the group herself. They found Jack fighting fiercely, surrounded by Vorax warriors. Without hesitation, Lara and her group charged bravely, breaking through and rescuing Jack just in time. Back safely within the city walls, Lara anxiously approached Jack, checking for injuries. "You scared me," she said softly, her voice shaking slightly. Jack smiled gently, exhausted but relieved. "I knew you'd come for me." Lara shook her head slightly, smiling with relief and affection. "Of course I would. We never leave family behind." The battle continued fiercely, but the courage and unity of the defenders proved stronger. Finally, the Vorax retreated, thoroughly defeated as cheers erupted throughout the city. Jack and Lara stood together, their bond stronger than ever. They knew their victory was not just military, but one of unity, family, and hope. Queen Alara approached them proudly, her eyes shining warmly. "Today, you both have shown what true strength and unity mean. You saved our home once again." Jack and Lara exchanged warm smiles, their hearts filled with deep satisfaction. They knew challenges would always remain, but together, nothing seemed impossible. As the sun set beautifully over Arvora, Jack and Lara walked quietly, enjoying a peaceful moment. "Do you think we'll ever see true peace?" Lara asked softly, looking hopefully at Jack. Jack smiled gently, his voice calm and reassuring. "I believe so, Lara. Peace isn't about never facing trouble. It's about how we face it, together." Lara nodded thoughtfully, her heart full of trust and hope. Together, they knew their bond would guide them through anything, leading Arvora towards a future filled with lasting peace and unity. Life on Arvora settled into peaceful harmony as humans and Arvrans worked side by side. Jack Harris spent his days helping build stronger defenses and improving relationships between the two species. Princess Lara was often at his side, learning eagerly from him, her heart opening fully to her human heritage. One day, news reached the palace about another distant Arvran city suffering under constant Vorax attacks. Jack and Lara quickly met with Queen Alara to discuss how they could help. "We must assist them," Jack spoke firmly, looking at Queen Alara with deep conviction. "Yes," Lara agreed strongly. "We can't allow them to suffer." Queen Alara nodded thoughtfully. "I understand your eagerness, but we must plan carefully. Their city is far, and the Vorax presence is strong." Jack stepped forward confidently. "Allow me and a small group to go first. We can help strengthen their defenses and organize a proper resistance." Queen Alara considered this carefully, finally agreeing. "You have my blessing, Jack, but be cautious." Lara immediately volunteered to join the mission. "I will go too. It's important they see humans and Arvrans united." Jack smiled proudly at Lara's bravery. "Together, we will succeed." They quickly prepared for the journey. A small but capable team was assembled, combining the best human and Arvran warriors. The following day, they set off, traveling swiftly through the vast and beautiful lands of Arvora. On their journey, Lara spoke openly with Jack, sharing her thoughts and dreams. She learned more about Earth, fascinated by human culture and traditions. Jack listened with interest, sharing stories and experiences. Their bond strengthened further, making them a united and confident team. After several days, they finally reached the troubled city. It was clear the Vorax attacks had severely damaged buildings and weakened morale. People looked tired, scared, and desperate. Jack and Lara immediately took charge, encouraging and guiding everyone. "We are here to help you. Lara said with strong compassion, addressing the weary citizens. Together, we will defend your home. Jack began quickly organizing repairs and defenses. His experience was valuable, and people trusted his clear instructions. Lara worked alongside him tirelessly, inspiring everyone around her with determination and courage. As defenses were repaired and improved, morale began to rise. The people found hope once again, seeing humans and Arvrans working seamlessly together. Evening, as Jack reviewed plans in a quiet room, Lara entered, her expression thoughtful. "Do you really think we can win this battle, Jack?" she asked softly, showing a rare moment of uncertainty. Jack looked up calmly, his voice gentle but confident. "Yes, Lara, I truly believe we can. Our unity is our greatest strength." Lara nodded, slowly, gaining reassurance from his steady presence. "I trust you completely. You've never let me down." Jack smiled warmly. "And I never will." Suddenly, alarms sounded urgently. The Vorax had returned, attacking fiercely once again. Jack and Lara quickly ran outside, rallying their warriors and taking positions. "Remember, everyone," Jack called loudly, standing tall. "Together, we are stronger. Stand firm and protect each other." The battle was intense, with fierce attacks coming from all sides. Jack and Lara fought bravely, guiding and encouraging everyone. Their leadership inspired courage in every heart, uniting humans and Arvrans as one. As the battle raged on, Lara noticed a group of civilians trapped, unable to escape the heavy fighting. Without hesitation, she moved quickly to help, signaling Jack to follow. Together, they fought their way through enemy lines, reaching the terrified group and guiding them safely out of harm's way. The Vorax pressed harder, determined to break the defenders. Jack knew they needed a new strategy. Quickly thinking, he gathered a small team and instructed Lara to keep fighting at the main gate. Holding their position firmly, Jack led his group around the enemy, creating a clever diversion that confused the Vorax and divided their forces. With perfect timing, Lara led the main defenders forward, striking the enemy fiercely. The combined strategy worked brilliantly. The Vorax began retreating, confused and weakened. Cheers erupted as the city celebrated its remarkable victory. Exhausted but victorious, Jack and Lara stood together once again, breathing heavily but smiling broadly. "You did it," Lara whispered proudly, looking at Jack with deep admiration. Jack shook his head, smiling warmly. "We did it, Lara. This was everyone's victory." The grateful people surrounded them, thanking them sincerely. Their bravery and unity had saved the city. That evening, the entire city celebrated joyously. Jack and Lara were heroes, respected deeply for their courage and wisdom. Late that night, as celebrations quieted, Lara found Jack sitting alone, looking up at the star-filled sky. "What are you thinking about?" Lara asked gently, sitting beside him. Jack smiled softly. "About how far we've come. When I first arrived, I never imagined being part of something so important, especially with you." Lara nodded quietly. "I was so proud and stubborn. I never saw the good in humans. Now, you're the most important person in my life." Jack felt his heart swell with deep affection. "And you're the most important in mine, Lara." Lara hesitated briefly, then continued gently. "Sometimes I still wonder what life would have been like if we'd known earlier." Jack reached out, gently taking her hand. "We can't change the past, but we can create the future. Together." Lara squeezed his hand softly, feeling comfort and reassurance. Yes, together. The following day, Jack and Lara prepared to return home. Their mission complete. The city they helped save would rebuild, stronger and more united than ever before. As they journeyed back, their spirits were high, their bond unbreakable. Upon returning, Queen Alara welcomed them proudly, celebrating their victory. The news of their brave actions quickly spread, inspiring everyone. Arvora's unity grew stronger. Each day, guided by Jack and Lara's example. Jack knew challenges would always exist. But with unity, courage, and love, they could overcome anything. With Lara at his side, he felt ready for any future battles, knowing they faced him as family. Together, Jack and Lara had not only defended Arvora, but had built bridges that united two worlds forever. Their journey was far from over, but their path was clear and bright, filled with hope and determination. The fierce sound of the Vorax army echoed in the distance, growing louder as they approached the city walls of Arvora. Jack Harris stood firmly beside Princess Lara, their troops positioned and ready behind them. This battle felt different, filled with a new strength built from unity and trust. "Remember," Jack called out clearly to all the warriors gathered, "we stand together, humans and Arvrans alike. Today we fight not only for ourselves but for each other." Cheers erupted briefly, warriors raising their weapons in confident defiance. Lara stood tall, a clear leader, her eyes bright and determined as the Vorax charge. Jack and Lara led the defense. Arrows flew, energy shields flickered, and weapons clashed fiercely. Jack fought skillfully, never hesitating, always watchful of those around him. Lara matched his bravery, fighting fiercely beside her newfound father. Their moves perfectly aligned. The battle was tough, but their united forces held strong, pushing the Vorax back again and again. Jack noticed a group of Vorax warriors attempting to breach the eastern gate. Without hesitation, he signaled Lara, and they swiftly moved together to defend it. The fight at the gate was intense. Lara fought bravely, taking down enemies swiftly, yet the numbers were overwhelming. Suddenly, a powerful Vorax warrior charged directly at her, his massive weapon aimed with deadly intent. Jack reacted immediately, stepping in front of her and deflecting the attack just in time. He fought the enemy warrior fiercely, finally bringing him down. "Jack," Lara called anxiously, seeing blood trickle from his arm. "Are you all right?" "It's nothing," Jack replied, determination in his eyes. "We must hold the gate." Together, they continued their fierce defense, rallying the others around them. Gradually, their teamwork and courage turned the tide. The Vorax realized their defeat and began retreating. The city erupted in celebration as the enemy pulled back completely. Exhausted but victorious, Jack and Lara looked at each other with pride and relief. The warriors around them cheered loudly. Recognizing their remarkable leadership. Later that night, Queen Alara called a special gathering in the palace. The hall was filled with joyful Arvrans and humans, celebrating together. Queen Alara stood calmly, smiling warmly at Jack and Lara. "Today," Queen Alara began softly, "we saw what true strength and unity can achieve. I want to thank Jack Harris and Princess Lara for their bravery and leadership." Cheers filled the hall once more, acknowledging their heroes. Jack smiled humbly, while Lara blushed slightly, finally realizing the depth of respect she had earned. Queen Alara continued gently, her voice filled with emotion. "Jack has brought more than strength and wisdom to Arvora. He has reminded us all of the importance of unity, understanding, and family." Jack glanced at Lara softly, seeing her deep in thought. After the queen finished speaking, Lara approached. Jack quietly, "Thank you for today, Jack. You saved my life." Jack smiled gently, his voice warm. Any parent would do the same for their child. Lara hesitated briefly, then finally spoke the words she had held back for so long. "I'm sorry for how I treated you before. You deserve better." Jack shook his head kindly. "No apologies needed, Lara. We all grow and learn. What's important is that we're together now." Lara smiled, her heart lighter than ever before. They stood together, quietly sharing this special moment, building their bond stronger with each passing second. In the following days, the city of Arvora thrived. Jack helped rebuild and strengthen defenses alongside Lara. They worked closely, their bond growing even deeper. The people of Arvora quickly noticed the positive changes. Humans and Arvrans cooperated fully, sharing knowledge, skills, and friendship. One quiet evening, Jack and Lara walked through the gardens, enjoying the peaceful moment. Lara glanced at Jack, speaking softly. did you ever dream this would happen? That we would be here together like this? Jack chuckled warmly, shaking his head. I never imagined something like this. But I am grateful every day. Laura smiled gently, nodding in agreement. I am too. I never expected to find a father I could trust and admire. Jack felt his heart swell with warmth and pride. He gently placed his hand on Laura's shoulder, speaking earnestly. You make me proud, Laura. You're strong, brave, and compassionate. You're everything a parent could hope for. Laura blushed slightly, feeling genuinely happy. Thank you, Jack. Your words mean a lot. Suddenly, they noticed Queen Alara approaching slowly, her expression peaceful yet thoughtful. She joined them, speaking quietly. It fills my heart to see you both so close. Jack smiled warmly, nodding respectfully. We have much to thank you for, Your Majesty. The Queen shook her head gently, smiling at both of them. I only provided the truth. You, too, built the bridge yourselves. Laura glanced at her mother curiously. Mother, are you pleased with all that's happened? Queen Alara's eyes sparkled softly. More than you know, my dear. Seeing you accept and trust Jack has brought me true happiness. Jack took a deep breath, speaking clearly and sincerely. I promise you both, I will always be here. Arvora is now my home. My place is here with my family. Laura looked deeply moved by Jack's words, her voice quiet but firm. And we are proud to have you here, Jack. As they stood together, a gentle breeze swept through the garden, carrying with it a sense of peace and hope. They knew challenges would come again, but together they would face anything with courage and unity. Jack and Laura knew this was just the beginning of their journey. With trust, understanding, and love, they could face any obstacle and build a future brighter than they had ever imagined. Together, father and daughter were ready for whatever the future held. Days passed slowly, filled with tension and silence. Jack Harris patiently continued his duties, helping the Arvrons rebuild their defenses after the attack. Yet, his mind often wandered to Princess Laura. She had kept her distance, speaking little to him or anyone else. Queen Alara watched them both with concern, but chose not to interfere. One sunny morning, Jack noticed Laura training alone in the palace's large courtyard. Her moves were strong, precise, and intense. He could see her emotions clearly, anger and confusion making each strike sharper. He approached quietly, observing carefully. Your form is impressive, Jack finally spoke gently. Breaking her focus for a moment, Laura turned sharply, surprised and slightly irritated at his presence. What do you want, Jack? Jack raised his hands gently, showing he meant no harm. I just thought maybe you could use a partner. Training alone helps, but sparring can be even better. Laura hesitated briefly, eyeing him carefully. Fine, she finally said, stepping back and preparing herself. But don't hold back just because I'm your daughter. Jack smiled softly, taking his stance. I promise, I'll give you my best. They sparred intensely, their moves matching perfectly. Laura fought fiercely, testing Jack's strength and skill. Jack matched her energy, careful not to hurt her, but determined to challenge her fully. Their fight drew attention, with other warriors watching in quiet admiration. The two warriors moved in perfect rhythm, each strike precise and meaningful. After a long session, both stood breathing heavily, sweat covering their faces. Laura, surprisingly calm now, looked at Jack thoughtfully. You're stronger than I expected, she admitted quietly. Jack smiled warmly. And you're even stronger than I imagined. They rested briefly in silence before Laura finally spoke softly, her voice sincere. Why did you leave, Jack? Why didn't you stay with my mother? Jack sighed deeply, his eyes filled with regret. It wasn't simple, Laura. I was a soldier sent by my world. After the war ended, I had orders to leave. I never knew about you. If I had, things would have been different. Laura considered his words carefully. I grew up believing humans were weak and selfish, but you're different. I don't understand. Jack, nodded slowly, his voice gentle. Humans, like Arvrons, are complicated. Some are selfish, yes, but many are brave and kind. We're not so different from each other. Lara's expression softened a little. Maybe that's true. But it's hard to change what I've believed all my life. Change takes time, Jack replied warmly. But I'm here whenever you need me. Their conversation ended as Queen Alara approached quietly, smiling warmly at them both. I'm glad to see you two talking, she said gently. Lara nodded slightly, still thoughtful. We were just training. Jack is surprisingly skilled. Queen Alara laughed softly. That does not surprise me, my dear. Jack has always been a remarkable warrior. Jack smiled humbly, bowing his head respectfully. Thank you, Your Majesty. The Queen looked at Lara carefully, speaking gently. Remember, Lara, strength comes in many forms. Learn from him as he can learn from you. Lara nodded thoughtfully, her eyes meeting Jack's briefly. I will try, Mother. In the days that followed, Jack and Lara trained together often. They spoke, more openly, slowly breaking down the wall between them. Jack shared stories of Earth, his experiences, and his beliefs. Lara listened carefully, slowly seeing the world through Jack's eyes. She learned patience, kindness, and humility traits she had long ignored. One evening, as the sun set, Jack and Lara stood together looking over the city. The damage from the battle was almost completely repaired. The city glowed beautifully in the fading sunlight, peaceful and hopeful. It's beautiful, Lara whispered softly, her voice full of quiet awe. Jack nodded gently. It is. It's worth protecting and worth fighting for. Lara glanced at him slowly, her voice quiet. Do you ever wish you'd known sooner? About me? Jack took a deep breath, choosing his words carefully. Every moment since I learned the truth, I wished I could have known sooner. But regrets don't help. I'm grateful I know now, and I'm grateful we're building something good. Lara sighed softly, nodding. I wish things were simpler. Jack placed a gentle hand on her shoulder, comforting her softly. Life is rarely simple, Lara, but we can choose how we face it. Lara smiled slightly, her expression more peaceful than Jack had ever seen. I'm glad you're here, Jack, she admitted quietly. Jack felt warmth fill his chest, his voice gentle and sincere. I'm glad too, Lara. Their moment of peace was interrupted as another alarm suddenly sounded throughout the city. The familiar horns warned them again of danger approaching. Both immediately rushed towards the palace, preparing themselves for what was to come. Inside, Queen Alara quickly explained the situation. The Vorax have returned stronger than before, she said firmly. We need a plan. Jack stepped forward confidently. Lara and I have been training together. Combining human and Arvoran tactics might give us an advantage. Queen Ilara nodded thoughtfully. Then lead us, Jack. Show us what unity can achieve. Jack and Lara quickly organized their forces, combining their strengths and strategies. They worked swiftly, preparing the city for another fierce battle. This time, however, both humans and Arvorans felt more confident, trusting fully in their leader's united strength. As the Vorax approached, the city's defenses stood ready, a clear sign of unity and courage. Jack and Lara stood side by side, prepared to face whatever challenges came next. Jack turned to Lara, smiling softly. Together, we can protect what we care about. Lara nodded confidently, her voice strong and clear. Together, we will succeed. As the enemy approached, Jack felt no fear, only determination. He was ready, knowing he was not alone. Lara, too, stood bravely beside him, stronger than ever before. This battle would not only defend their home, but would also prove to everyone the true strength that came from unity and understanding. Jack and Lara exchanged a confident glance, ready to fight for their world and for each other. Their hearts were united, their spirits strong, and their hope brighter than ever. The morning came quickly, and Jack Harris awoke feeling alert and ready. The palace was filled with activity, and the air buzzed with energy. Jack dressed quickly, preparing for another day of discussions and diplomacy. However, a sudden alarm shattered the peaceful morning. Loud horns echoed throughout the city, signaling danger. Jack rushed to the main hall, finding it filled with anxious Arvrans. Warriors ran everywhere, grabbing weapons and armor. Queen Alara stood in the center, calmly directing orders. Princess Lara stood next to her, looking brave but tense. The queen noticed Jack and quickly motioned for him to approach. "What happened?" Jack asked firmly, his voice steady. "The Vorax have attacked," Queen Alara explained quickly. "They are powerful and dangerous. We must prepare quickly to defend ourselves." Jack nodded seriously. "I understand. My people will help you. Tell us how we can assist." Princess Lara glanced at him skeptically, but remained silent. Queen Alara spoke firmly. "Join our warriors at the outer walls. Your skills in combat could be useful." Without hesitation, Jack gathered his companions and rushed to the city walls. The Vorax army appeared fierce and massive, their alien forms tall, muscular, and heavily armored. Their eyes glowed a fierce red, and their roars shook the ground. Arvran warriors gathered courageously, standing in rows along the great walls. Jack stepped forward beside them, taking a position near Princess Lara, who looked at him curiously. "Ready to prove your words, human?" Lara challenged, her voice tense but determined. Jack smiled slightly, drawing his weapon. "Always, princess." The Vorax charged, and the battle began fiercely. Jack fought skillfully, surprising everyone around him. His moves were precise, quick, and effective. Arvrans began to notice Jack and the other humans, realizing their true strength. Together, humans and Arvrans defended the walls bravely, pushing back the fierce enemy wave after wave. Princess Lara fought fiercely too, her skill and bravery clear, but as the battle continued, she found herself surrounded by several Vorax warriors. For a brief moment, panic flashed in her eyes. Jack saw this instantly and moved swiftly to help Dot with strong, decisive movements. Jack pushed the enemy away from Lara. He fought with a calm determination, saving Lara and enabling her to regain her stance. Together, they pushed the enemy back, gaining control once again. When the battle finally ended, Arvora stood victorious. The Vorax retreated, defeated for now. Warriors cheered loudly, embracing each other. But Jack and Lara stood quietly, breathing heavily from the battle, looking at each other with a new understanding. Princess Lara finally spoke, her voice soft and genuine. "You fought well, Jack. Thank you for your help." Jack nodded humbly. "And you, Princess, fought bravely." Queen Ilara approached them, smiling warmly. "Today, you showed us true courage and friendship, Jack. You have earned our respect." Jack bowed respectfully. "Thank you, Your Majesty. I only wish to keep peace and friendship between our worlds." After the battle, everyone helped to repair the damage and care for the wounded. Jack worked tirelessly, assisting both Arvrans and humans. He earned more respect from everyone around him, including Princess Lara, who watched him closely but now with admiration. That evening, Queen Ilara invited Jack privately to her chambers. Jack entered cautiously, curious and respectful. "You wish to see me, Your Majesty?" Jack asked gently. The queen looked at him carefully, her expression serious but warm. "Yes, Jack. There is something important you must know. Something from many years ago." Jack listened closely, sensing that this moment was important. Queen Alara took a deep breath, then began. "Many years ago, you were here on Arvora during another conflict. You and I shared a brief but meaningful time together." Jack looked surprised but remained quiet, allowing her to continue. "From that time, a child was born," Queen Alara confessed softly, looking at Jack directly. "That child is Princess Lara." Jack's eyes widened in shock. "Lara is my daughter?" The queen nodded slowly. "Yes, Jack. I kept this hidden to protect her from complicated politics. But now, seeing you fight alongside her, I believe you deserve the truth." Jack sat down slowly, processing this news. I had no idea, he whispered softly. But it explains so much about her. Queen Alara smiled gently. She has your strength and your kindness, though she tries to hide it under pride. Jack smiled, feeling a mix of emotions. Thank you for telling me. I promise to honor this truth and support her in any way I can. Queen Alara nodded gratefully. I knew you would say that, Jack, but we must be careful. Lara is proud and sensitive. I understand, Jack replied thoughtfully. I will give her time and space. Unknown to both of them, Princess Lara had been listening quietly outside the room, her heart beating fast. Her feelings were confused, angry, and scared. She stepped away quickly, feeling lost and overwhelmed. In the following days, Jack noticed Lara acting strangely, avoiding him completely. He felt sadness but knew she needed time. Still, he worried about her feelings and wanted her to understand he meant no harm. One evening, as Jack walked through the gardens again, he found Lara standing alone, looking thoughtful and troubled. Jack approached slowly, speaking gently. Princess Lara, may I speak with you? Lara turned quickly, her eyes filled with confusion and anger. Did you know? She demanded fiercely. Did you know you were my father all this time? Jack shook his head calmly. No, Lara, I only found out. A few days ago, I would never keep such a secret from you. Lara struggled to control her emotions, her voice shaking slightly. Why didn't my mother tell me before? Why keep such a secret? She wanted to protect you, Jack explained gently. She knew how difficult it might be for you. Lara looked away, tears in her eyes. I feel lost, Jack. I don't know what to think. Jack approached carefully, placing a gentle hand on her shoulder. I understand, Lara. Take your time. I'm here whenever you're ready to talk. Lara glanced up at him slowly, seeing the honesty and kindness in his eyes. She nodded softly, unable to speak further. Jack stepped back, giving her the space she needed. He walked away quietly, hopeful yet worried. Jack knew it would take time, but he believed that eventually Lara would come to accept the truth. Until then, he promised himself he would always be there for her, patient and strong, no matter how difficult things became. Jack Harris stood silently in front of the large, shimmering doors of the royal palace on planet Avora. It was his first time visiting this alien world. The air around him felt fresh, clean, and slightly cooler than Earth. Jack had been a warrior for many years, and his face showed the signs of battles fought and won, yet he always remained humble and kind. Today, he was part of a human group sent to talk peace with the Arvrans, a proud and powerful alien race known for their warriors. As Jack waited, the huge palace doors opened slowly, revealing a stunning hall inside. Tall columns lined the hall, carved with designs that glowed softly. Jack stepped forward, followed closely by his companions. The Arvran guards, tall and strong, dressed in shining armor, stood silently, watching the humans carefully. At the far end of the hall sat Queen Alara. Her presence filled the room, calm but powerful. Next to her stood Princess Lara, her daughter. Lara was young, strong, and beautiful, but Jack quickly noticed the pride in her eyes. Lara looked at the humans and started whispering to her companions. They laughed softly, glancing at Jack and the other humans. It was clear they were amused by something. Jack felt a little uncomfortable but decided to ignore their mocking. He was here to make peace, not start trouble. Queen Alara raised her hand and everyone in the hall became silent. Her voice echoed gently as she welcomed the humans warmly. Welcome, warriors from Earth. Queen Alara spoke clearly and kindly. We are happy to receive you. We hope our worlds can become friends. Jack stepped forward and bowed respectfully. Thank you, Your Majesty. We come with peaceful intentions. We believe our worlds can help each other grow stronger. Princess Lara, however, could not keep quiet. She stepped forward, looking directly at Jack with a slight smirk. And you are warriors from Earth? She asked, her voice filled with doubt. I expected more. Jack's face remained calm, though he could sense the challenge in her words. He smiled gently. Warriors come in many forms, Princess. Strength is not only in size or appearance. Lara laughed openly, shaking her head slightly. Maybe that is true on Earth, human, but here on Arvora, strength is visible. Clearly, your battles must be very different from ours. The other Arvrans chuckled quietly, enjoying the princess's teasing. Queen Alara watched silently, her expression unreadable. Jack kept his calm and replied politely, Perhaps someday soon you will see our strength in action, Princess Lara. Princess Lara raised an eyebrow, but said nothing more. She stepped back beside her mother, satisfied she had made her point. The queen spoke again, her voice steady and firm. Enough, Lara. Our guests deserve respect. Please, warriors from Earth, join us in the Great Hall for food and drink. Jack nodded gratefully, following Queen Alara and her daughter into another large room. Long tables filled with strange and colorful food waited for them. The humans took their seats, cautious but curious. The Arvrans began eating, talking among themselves, though many still glanced curiously at the visitors. Jack ate slowly, trying the new foods and finding many of them tasty. Still, he noticed Princess Lara watching him carefully, sometimes whispering to her friends. It seemed she was still not convinced that Jack or any human could match an Arvoran warrior. After the meal, the queen approached Jack personally. Please forgive my daughter's rudeness, she said quietly. She is young and very proud. Jack smiled warmly, nodding. There is nothing to forgive, Your Majesty. I understand pride very well. I also understand it can blind even the best of us. Queen. Alara smiled softly, studying Jack's face carefully. You speak wisely, warrior. Perhaps there is much we can learn from each other. Jack nodded respectfully. I truly hope so, Your Majesty. As the day passed, Jack and his companions were shown around the palace and parts of the city. They saw impressive structures and advanced technology, confirming Arvora's power and sophistication. Despite everything they saw, Jack noticed Princess Lara's behavior had not changed. She kept her distance, but always found ways to watch the humans closely, especially Jack. Later that evening, Jack took a quiet walk in the palace gardens. The air was cool and calm, filled with the soft glow of alien plants. He paused, enjoying the peace. A soft sound made him turn, and he saw Princess Lara standing nearby, arms crossed. Do you truly believe you can help us, human? Lara asked, her voice softer now, but still challenging. Or are you simply here to impress my mother? Jack took a slow breath, choosing his words carefully. I am here because peace matters. Strength comes not only from weapons, but from unity. I hope you will come to see that princess. Lara looked thoughtful for a moment, but quickly hid her feelings. We shall see, human, she said firmly. Turning away and disappearing into the darkness, Jack stood quietly, watching her leave. He knew that earning trust would take time, especially with someone as proud as Princess Lara. But Jack was patient and wise. He understood that the greatest victories often took the longest. He returned slowly to his room, thinking deeply. Tomorrow would be another chance to show the Arvrans what humans truly were: strong, wise, and capable of friendship. He hoped that Princess Lara would eventually see past her pride. And maybe, he thought, there was something more behind the queen's careful watchfulness. For now, he would wait and see.